fight tonight.
What's going on, everybody? Jade up here. Today's video is going to be over the 5 worst tanking sets in PVE and why, or at least in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the set and then I'll go over the reasoning why. And then, down in the description down below, I'll list, what set I listed and what time frame I listed as well. So you can easily click which one and kind of look at the reasoning why for yourself. So let's go ahead and start this off with automated defense. Now, some of you guys are probably thinking, oh, it gives minor and major Aegis. Well, let me just go over it. So automated defense, the 2-piece set gives you 1206 maximum health. 3-piece gives you minor Aegis at all times, reducing your damage taken from dungeon, trial, and arena monsters by 5%. Not too bad. 4th piece adds 4% healing taken. Okay. The 5-piece set, when you use an ultimate ability, you and the closest 2 allies within 28 meters of you gain major Aegis for 10 seconds, reducing your damage taken from dungeon, trial, and arena monsters by 15%. Now, if you caught that at the beginning, when you pop an ultimate, you and the closest 2 allies. Let's think about that for a second. In a dungeon, you have 4 people. You and 2 other people are the only ones that get the major Aegis. What about the last person? So you're looking at Veteran Black Rose Prison and all these other 4-man dungeons and DLCs that you could potentially use this on, but only 3 people are going to benefit from it. So that's why it's not that great. This is a trial set too. This comes from Halls of Fabrication. So the fact that this set doesn't even go to 11 other group members and yourself, it's just kind of crazy to me. Or the fact that it doesn't even go to 3 other allies and yourself is kind of ridiculous. So for that reason alone is why we're going to put this on our list. As one of the worst tanking sets to have for PvE. Let's go ahead and look at number 2. Our second one is going to be, where's it at? Call of Undertakers. Okay, and here's what it does. 2-piece sets adds 4% healing taken. 3-piece, 1206 maximum health. Not bad. 4th and 5th piece set gives you healing done and 1206 maximum health. Maximum health isn't that bad. But the last 5-piece set, when you deal damage with a light attack, you apply minor lifesteal to your enemy for 8 seconds, healing you and your allies for 684 health every 1 second when damaging them. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. Okay, so all you really have to do to not waste a 5-piece set is to have one person just run Blood Altar. If you're in a dungeon group, have your healer run it or have your tank run it. If you're not running, if you're running 3 DPS and 1 tank, you could still run this as a tank. This ability here, it's not too bad. It just kind of baffles me that that's a set. But anyways, this Blood Altar lasts 30 seconds. The set lasts 8 seconds. As long as you keep, hitting and light attack and whatever. But you can just lay this down and just kind of just go AFK for a little bit and then you're good to go. So that reason alone, that you can get this from a skill, it lasts longer. That's why we're going to put, let me cancel this out. And that's why we're going to put this on our list as one of the worst sets for tanking. Let's go ahead and look at our third one. We're looking at, where's it at? Duneripper Scales. So what this set does is 2-piece gives you 1206 maximum health, which isn't too bad. Getting extra health is actually not that bad. 3-piece set gives you 4% healing taken. 4-piece set gives you healing taken again. Okay. Okay, whatever. But the 5-piece set, while you're blocking, your physical and spell resistance are increased by 53%. Now, some of you guys, some people may actually use this set. I think some people have asked me in stream if I would even consider this set, and blah, blah, blah. We kind of looked at it, and yeah, it's okay, but it's not that great. This set's a good idea, but the only way to proc the 5310 physical and spell resistance is by blocking, and as soon as you let go of block, you lose that. So if you take a look at my previous videos on what tank sets you need for tanking trials, which I'll leave down in the description down below, you'll see that those sets I listed provide much better utility to your group while being close to resistance cap. So I figure the only reason you're using the sets if you're trying to get closer to resistance, right? Resistance cap, which is about 32k. Now, if you were any other race other than Nord, like if you were Argonian, Imperial, Khajiit, Dark Elf, whatever, there are small adjustments that you could easily make to your CP or your traits to put you closer to the resistance cap if you need. So, such as changing your traits, you could easily go to your transmute station here, as long as you have some geodes. And you could easily change this to Nernhone or Reinforce. Obviously, Nernhone providing just a tiny bit more resistance than Reinforced. Or you could even go into your CP tree and throw in some more points into heavy armor focus or a spell shield, depending on which one you need more of. Just those 3 changes right there, or 2 changes if you even want to call it that. Is very, very small that you could do to get that resistance cap that you're looking for, or get you higher up, and if that's what you're looking at doing. And also don't forget that you can apply balance or hardened armor or whatever ability you have that gives you major resolve for that tanking class, and you're set. You're pretty much good. 31k resistance, 29, 28 and higher is good resistance. That's actually fine. It's not a bad thing. So with those few changes, with what little things that you had to do to change to achieve that spell and physical resistance, that's why we're going to put this set on one of the worst tanks, one of the worst tanking sets for PVE, just because of that. You could just change a few things and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and look at the next set. It's going to be Hand of Mephalas. Where is it at? There it is. Okay. So we're going to hover over this. Actually, we're going to hover over this and then we'll get into Dragon Defiler and why. Okay. So here's what Mephala's Hand does. 2-piece adds 4% healing taken. 3-piece 1206 maximum health. And then 4-piece adds 1487 armor, which actually that isn't that bad. The 1487 armor and the max health is actually pretty decent. The 5th piece set, when you take damage, you have a 10% chance to cast a web around you for 5 seconds, reducing the movement speed of enemies within the web by 50%. I guess that's what they meant to say. After 5 seconds, the web bursts into venom, dealing 3000 poison damage and applying minor fracture to any enemy hit for 5 seconds, reducing their physical resistance by 1320. Now we read that to show you this. Dragon Defilers. Let me go over what Dragon Defilers does. The 2-piece set, 1096 maximum stam, 3-piece set, 1096 maximum stam again. 4-piece, 1206 maximum health. The 5-piece set. When you take damage from a melee attack, gain a corrupting aura for 5 seconds that applies minor fracture and minor breach to all enemies near you, lowering their physical and spell resistance by 1320. This effect can occur once every 5 seconds. As you can see, there's really no cooldown on either one of these, except for Mephala's. Mephala has a 5-second cooldown because the web has to be placed and then exploded. Dragon Defiler, all it has to do is you just got to take damage from a melee ad and then you're good to go, and then that procs is set. So again, what we're looking at here as a tank are two things on Mephalas. It's slowing down the enemy, which is nice. That's okay. You're more than likely going to use this set in ad pools. You probably will never use this in a boss fight, and the reason why is because Templars can apply minor fracture and minor breach just by using power of the light. It could be stam or magicka, and they could apply that easily. And that can be applied to more than one enemy. So if you're on a boss fight like V Maul of Lorcage, you're on Rakat, you have the Hulk and Rakat. It's the Templar, boom, power light, good to go. And then, and then that's it. Here's what I would suggest. I would probably never run Mephalas. And the reason why is because Dragon Defilers is just better. It applies minor breach and minor fracture. And when you're running in a pug group, or if you're running in a trial, you're going to have mixed comp. You could have magicka and or stamina characters or DDs in your group, and that's just going to help them out a little bit more, dealing that little bit extra damage. Now, you'll actually have a better uptime with Dragon Defilers as long as you grab a melee ad and let them, obviously hit you. You're gonna have a better uptime on Dragon Defiler than you will on Mephalas hand, and for those few reasons alone, that's why we're gonna have to put Mephalas hand in one of the worst sets to have as a tank. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Where is it at? Warrior Poet is the next one. So here's what Warrior Poet does. 1206 maximum health for the 2-piece set. 3-piece adds 1487 armor. The 3-piece and the 4-piece set do the same thing. So I think I might have said something different. Anyways, 1487 for the armor and 3 and 4-piece set. The 5th piece adds 1206 maximum health. And then you gain minor toughness at all times, increasing your max health by 10%. So a minor toughness you can get from teaming up with a warden, or even being a warden tank yourself. If you're in a dungeon, it's almost no need to have minor toughness. In a trial setting, you're more than likely to have a warden in your group. This is the only way that the group members will gain minor toughness. And the reason you should have one in your trials group is because that helps your DPS, giving them just a little bit more health so that they can potentially, take hits, and survive some of those hits that get dealt by the monsters. That Warrior Poet, here's the thing. If Warrior Poet if it said something like this, gain minor toughness to 11 other group members and yourself, increasing your max health by increasing their max health by 10% or whatever, as long as if it went to 11 other group members and yourself, kind of like how Eben and Worm and Hear Things does, it actually might be a better set, but being that it only goes to you, it's kind of not that needed at all, really. Because what if you pug a dungeon, you queue up randomly for a dungeon, and then bam, you get a warden in your group. Now this set is completely useless because you can't stack 2 minors or 2 majors. And that's something I can cover in a later video, but you can't have 2 minor buffs going at the same time. And I mean that as in you can't have minor toughness from this set and minor toughness from a warden being applied to you. It's not going to stack. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with Major Slayer, right? So if you have 2 sets of Major Slayer, you're only going to get benefit from one of those. It's not, they don't stack. So with that being said, that's why we're going to list Warrior Poet as one of the worst sets for tanking in PVE. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Were there any sets that I missed that you thought should have been on the list? And were there any sets on this list that you were like, whoa, wait a minute, I actually used this set. If you want to, you can leave the comment down below and give a reasoning why. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.